Hello, I'm Elaine Smith, the Artistic Director of the Clamour Theatre Company. We're holding these creative conversations with playwrights, with actors, with directors, so that you can find out more about Clamour Theatre and about the artists who work with us. Welcome to this edition of a Clamour Creative Conversation. Today, we are talking with Maximillian Gill, a playwright who was with us for Clay and Water 2020, our second annual Playwrights Retreat. Welcome, Max. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Happy to be here.
Great. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, your bio, your background, anything that you would like us to know.
Sure, Max Gill, playwright, but I've only been writing plays for about a dozen years now. And it was sort of a creative shift for me in that as a writer, I was primarily writing short fiction and poetry, and that's what I actually went to school for. But I kind of hit a creative dead end and wanted to try something new. And it just coincided with my move to New York, and that's in the theater scene. So everything just kind of fell into place. And I've been a playwright ever since and loving it, really enjoying it.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about the play that you brought to Clay and Water, the Mimosa War. Tell us, maybe a little synopsis and where it stands now. Has it had any additional, not that there's been a lot going on, so it wouldn't be surprising if it hasn't, but has it had any readings or productions since then?
Sure. The Mimosa War is kind of a satirical, absurd piece about a group of entitled residents of Manhattan who are trying to have brunch in the middle of a civil war that has engulfed the city. I did do some rewrites after the retreat. I'm having trouble finding a home for it. There's been a little interest here and there, but I think that it's a really weird kind of piece. And there's an insurrection that leads to a civil war, which might be a little too topical now, or maybe it's the fact that I'm treating it in kind of a humorous manner. To me, I tend to treat these dark subjects that are weighing on me with humor. That's my way of dealing with it. But I realize that it's not everybody's cup of tea. So we'll see. There's still time.
Oh, sure. There's plenty of time. So do you remember where you heard about the retreat and why you decided to apply?
I'm pretty sure I saw it on my standard source, which would be nycplaywrights.org. I believe there's a listing up there. I think the biggest thing that appealed to me was just retreat in the sense of escape from my daily reality here in New York City. And I have a day job, 40 hours a week and all that. And just finding the time away to just sit and write every day without feeling like I have to be doing something else or some errand to run, or I need to do my work or whatever. That was a primary thing that appealed to me, but also being able to put up the play in sort of a workshop setting, have a reading, have reactions to it. Because at that point, I had only had a couple of readings of short scenes of this play in New York. I hadn't had a full reading of the whole thing yet. So it was a good opportunity for that.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. And do you feel like the retreat was worth it?
Absolutely.
You kind of have to say that to me, but
no, I guess one thing that I didn't expect was the camaraderie. It's interesting when I think about it. Of course, I know a lot of playwrights, but I tend to spend most of my theater time working with actors and directors, because of course, when you're doing a production, that's who you're collaborating with. Not so much time with playwrights, but at this point, we were 6 of us, right? Am I counting right? 5?
5.
Okay. I added you as the 6th member there. And we were just having breakfast every day, dinner every night, and just spending a lot of time together and sharing ideas, sharing career advice, creative ideas, and it was just such a wonderful creative ferment, and making those networks and just talking about just how to do this, because no one really knows how to do it right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go to school and you learn the craft, but you don't learn the business end,
Right.
how to market yourself, how to get your stuff out there, and just sharing all those ideas is
Sure.
extremely valuable.
And
And
everybody's path is different. So it's
exactly,
not like there's a formula for success. So
exactly. And then just meeting you and the members of the board and having that feedback and making those connections and relationships, it was just really, it was extremely comforting and a really wonderful experience.
good. I'm real glad.
And the other aspect that surprised me was we visited two schools. One was a high school and one was a junior high. Do I remember that correctly?
That's correct. Yeah.
And I'm not good in these situations where I'm sort of up with a group and answering questions to a bunch of people in the audience. Whether they're adults or kids, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't work for me. But I really, really loved it. I loved their enthusiasm. It fed back to me and just made me feel inspired by my own work and about next generation of creative talents. That was really wonderful.
Yeah. They were great groups of kids. So,
Yeah.
okay, so tell me, do you have, other than the Mimosa War, a favorite play of your own, whether it's been produced or not produced yet?
My favorite play tends to be the one that I'm working on right now, which I think is probably a psychological mechanism, because that's the thing that forces me to get through it and do all the rewrites and all that. But one recent one, I actually collaborated on a children's play for the New York Children's Theater, and it's a virtual production. It's online, and I'd never written a TYA play before, but I really, really enjoyed the experience in writing something that was for kids and sort of try to inspire the next generation. So it's a surprising favorite of mine at this point.
Okay. What's the title of it?
It's called Same, Same, But Different. And it's about the friendship between an American girl and an Indian boy. I was hired by the artistic director of the company to write the part of the Indian boy because of my background is I'm from India originally. And it was just it was a great experience.
Nice. Is it available on New Play Exchange?
I don't know if it's on there, but it can actually be seen right now until the end of May. If you go to the website for the New York Children's Theater, it's available and viewable. It's a Zoom production, but it's pretty lavish. There's because it's for kids, so you have to make it interesting and exciting. It has animation and music. It's sort of like a full production thing. I was really impressed by how it came out.
Nice. I'll look for it. So one of the things I like to ask is, are there 3 favorite plays that you've either seen or read by other authors, and tell us what you like about them?
Yes, absolutely. One that comes to mind immediately is Tennessee Williams' Glass Menagerie. It is so sensitively and delicately rendered, the story of these characters, and it is something that I wish I could pull off, but I know that if I did, I would fall flat on my face, and it would be sentimental and maudlin, and it just wouldn't work. So that it really impressed me how that happens. Another one I can think of immediately is Pterodactyls by Nikki Silver. It's kind of an absurdist piece, a satire about a kind of privileged family, and it's kind of the kind of thing I try to pull off with the Mimosa War as kind of an inspiration for that. And the final one I can think of is Susan Laurie Parks' When Father Comes Home from the Wars, just because it's an incredible piece.
Good.
That's just, yeah, it's so worth reading. It's wonderful.
I'm having such a great time with this question because I'm just making this huge long list of things I now have to read, you know. So that's great. Well, for our viewers, if you would like to read plays by Maximillian Gill, you can look for them on the New Play Exchange website at newplayexchange.org. And for Clamour Theatre Company news and events, check out our website at clamourtheatre.org or follow us on Facebook as Clamour Theatre Company. And we post all those URLs in the description below the video. And if you would like to see more interviews like this one, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And Max, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today and for letting our audience get to know something about you. We're really glad that you were able to join us for Clay and Water 2020, our last live thing, and to be part of the Clamour community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elaine.